What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 5 of the Tastycast, our bi-weekly podcast where we talk about what we've been playing and really anything we want to talk about. Unrestrained, no time limit. We talk as long as we feel like. Welcome. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy. I'm Chris.
And we normally start out every podcast with talking about what games we've been playing, but a real quick note, this upcoming week, me and Chevy are going on vacation. We will be out of state, so there's a good chance that there will be no content, so expect content the week after. We're taking a real quick break, but if we're feeling good enough, we'll try and put out an episode or two that week.
If time permits.
If time permits, yeah. But let's get into the conversation. So what games you guys been playing?
I have been playing... Are we coming through on this side?
Should be.
Okay. Okay.
You're gonna make me edit this.
Sorry. I just noticed it was barely moving. I've been playing a little bit of Battleborn. I dabbled in a bunch of games recently because we needed footage, obviously, for the new intro. If you guys didn't see it, obviously, hopefully you have. You've been watching. I've been kind of all over the place. Put a little Enter the Gungeon, forgot how awesome the game is.
Real quick note, too, real fast. We did a new intro. Expect new outro soon. I'm thinking about a couple things to be doing to kind of change up the channel for our second year. We've actually been doing this for a year now, which is crazy.
Yep.
As of May 12th. That fucking flew by. Not trying to interrupt you. Just wanted to say that real quick. Keep going.
Played a little bit of Black Ops 3. Played... What else did I play? A little Warframe. Forgot how good the game looks now with the new lighting. They've done some other updates since we played too. Like, there was some completely different UI stuff and everything.
Oh, really?
I really just kind of need to get back into that game. It's...
This month's really bad for that, though, because of all the new games coming out and us not being here in a week. But
other than that, we're just coming off of the Overwatch beta as well, and I spent way too much time playing that.
Yeah. You played Overwatch too, didn't you, Chris?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And don't want to talk about too much because we've talked about it a lot. But you liked it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Fucking loved it.
What now that we're seasoned vets of the game, what are some of your favorites?
Characters?
Yeah.
We discussed this in the Battleborn and Overwatch video, but I'm definitely a big fan of Lucio. I love using Roadhog as one of the tanks, Reinhardt, and oh no, I forgot his name. The other tank. Whatever. Torbjorn. I'm probably butchering the name.
It's pretty close.
It's fun.
I assume.
And then
Sound legit.
mostly attack people, but I tend to actually go away from the attackers. I like the other three categories. I think they're a lot more fun.
Yeah.
They're definitely more interesting, but I'm naturally just someone who likes to get in there and shoot shit, so the attackers are like my thing.
Yeah.
I like almost every single one of them, and Tracer's awesome. That's like one of my favorites. Hanzo's awesome, even though he's not an attacker.
Defense, yeah.
Soldier, the guy I can't
76.
remember. I can never remember his fucking number. There's so many numbers. You could have one of any of them. Roadhog was cool. Reinhardt's cool. Even though Roadhog is OP, I guess. I noticed that in the beta. He's just fucking murdering people. Bastion is still OP somehow. He's fun to play.
Even after a nerf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are saying Tracer's OP. I don't see it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like a lot of people are playing her, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think people might be fatigued on her just because she's so advertised.
I think everyone just wants to play Bastion because you could just murder 30 people in a row. So.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, no, he's really good at just killing everything. What are some of your favorites, Chris?
Diva, for sure, is one of my favorites.
That's the tank I forgot.
That's one of my favorite characters.
Diva's cool.
Just because you're kind of a tank, but you're kind of not at the same time. Genji, I actually really like playing Genji because I like being in and out of combat, like having like little rest periods, just hiding away in a corner. But and Mercy, because me being support champs is pretty.
Somebody's got to play Mercy. I didn't see a whole lot of people playing her, to be honest.
The ones I did though, I could tell they either like just clicked with that character or they came straight from Team Fortress 2 because they were just keeping the entire frickin' team alive.
I feel like it's pretty niche though. I feel like your random person hopping in the game wanting to shoot shit isn't going to pick her right off the bat. So I feel like people who play Team Fortress are did raids in MMOs are gonna be drawn to that more if they like healers. I know you primarily heal in MMOs, so that makes sense that you played her. Any other ones?
No, I didn't care. Oh, I played Symmetra a little bit. She was interesting. I don't like how squishy she is for how slow she is to build up damage.
Yeah, but you get in a box with all your turrets, and your gun is essentially a turret,
right.
and things just die.
Right,
so
right.
That's a healer class.
I couldn't learn the proper placements for sentries.
Well, humans aren't as good against them as the bots look at them and shoot them. Right? When you play against people, they're focused on you usually. So the turrets just sit there and eat their health. It's crazy how much people don't pay attention to that. So.
Switching up real quick, what games have you been playing, Chris?
Not a lot different from last time. A lot of Dark Souls 3 still. I actually started playing some more Mortal Kombat recently, although not too much. Just here and there, the towers that pop up, the living towers.
Are you a fan of Mortal Kombat?
Oh yeah, ever since I was a kid.
Yeah, for some reason,
good at it.
I've heard you talk about it multiple times, and for some reason, you never struck me as someone who played Mortal Kombat. But I see you on PSN all the time playing it, so I'm like, apparently likes that.
What's funny you say you're not good at it, because I feel the same way. I'm not that great at Mortal Kombat, but it's super fun to play.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
There's a lot going on in that game, and then all the unlock stuff. There's just a lot of content, but also the fighting's fun, but also the environmental things you can do is kind of cool. So
learning all the stage fatalities and fatalities and things like that.
Right.
But I've also been playing Diablo 3.
I saw that
recently. Get back into that.
It's a game I'm hesitant to get back into because it's an investment. Yeah, it's an investment. I heard they started. What are those things called?
The next season.
Yeah,
I've already beaten it.
Which I still don't know shit about them.
Yeah,
but
I've never participated in one. I think this is the 5th one.
Sixth. Yeah.
So a season, basically, once you get to 70, you have little achievements you have to complete, and if you complete those now, they give you a full set piece. A whole thing.
Okay.
And now there's set dungeons in the game, so when you complete those, you get a bonus after that. And then after you complete all the seasonal achievements, there's several other layers of more achievements you can do.
So they added more end-game content.
That kind of depth, like that kind of mentality to Overwatch, I think people are in trouble, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with Overwatch in the long term, because it's already a really fun game, but Blizzard is really good about
making addictive content.
Keeping their games going for a long time.
Yeah.
All their games, they don't have that many games compared to a lot of companies, but they're all still played constantly, and they're really good about keeping them going.
Still play Diablo 2, so.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People fucking love Diablo 2. They prefer it over 3. A lot of people. Did you ever play Neo?
I tried. I got little tidbits here and there of what I could get because my wireless router broke, and I couldn't figure out in time how to connect to my computer. But I did play a little bit of it, and it's very much like Dark Souls, except for, it still has that Dark Souls feel to it, where it's very, skill-based, very difficult, but at the same time, there's something quite about this not quite the same. I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but from the little that I played, it's interesting. I'm definitely interested in playing it, but it's just different. If you're looking for something exactly like Dark Souls, it's not.
Yeah, I played it at first and it felt like a blatant ripoff, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. But there are, the deeper you get into it, things that are different. And the biggest thing I equate it to is like Ninja Gaiden, because it's a little more hyper than Dark Souls is. It also has heavily emphasized combos. Like it wants you to use combos, and that actually, because I first fought some guys, and is it not working?
No, you're fine.
And I fought some dudes, and it was it was difficult. And then when I started actually doing the combos, I would kill the guys faster.
Right.
And there's also customization of combos per stance, per weapon, and shit. So I'm actually interested to see further into the game how that will play out. And I still haven't, because I barely played the demo, but I never fought a boss in them. I'm assuming there is one. But I want to see how boss battles are in the game, because if it's anything like Ninja Gaiden, they'll probably be really fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for more. This is just a personal thing, but I'm hoping for more diversity in weapons. I get it's an alpha demo, so you can only get a few amount.
Yeah.
But I really want to see a wide range of weaponry, Not just katanas and axes and spears. I want to see like stabs and nunchucks and kamas and sais.
I was really curious about that because when you look in at the skills you can get for those weapons, there is only those weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if there's not a variety of weapons. Like maybe there's a bunch of variety of those weapons. But I agree, I'd like to see more weapons because that seems kind of limited to me.
Yeah.
And I hope they would go that route because I feel like that'd be a missed opportunity if they just kind of emphasize 3 weapons. But with the skills and the combos, maybe they had to put all that work into that.
It is their first attempt at this kind of game, so...
Yeah.
But Ninja Gaiden has a ton of weapons.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden's also not a Dark Souls clone that's trying to feel similar but still have its own identity. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they obviously have the opportunity to in the future with DLCs too, if they want to. So I know.
You don't like that?
Not particularly. I usually like to have the full game up front instead of having to spend extra money on DLC here and there for content that should be included in the game to begin with.
Yeah.
It's a little debatable. I think if the game comes out and it is a complete game,
Mm-hmm.
I give the example.
Not all example.
Just getting a character here.
Of The Witcher 3, that is a full game.
Yeah.
True.
And now they have a DLC coming out that's just adding a crap ton of content. Apparently, it's actually supposed to be better looking than the game itself.
Well, it's all about how you do DLC and what you're trying to get out of it. A lot of companies do make DLC as they're developing the game because they're
Right.
planning on it's standard. People buy DLC nowadays. It's set, but and that is cheesy, but I just kind of accept it for what it is. But I do like the idea of DLC because it's faster than getting expansions, even though I do miss expansions too. But it keeps the game going longer if it's done well enough. I mean, like Call of Duty is an example of good or bad. It's just kind of like what DLC should be at the bare minimum. It's just more content, more maps, stuff like that. It keeps the game going. But like games like Capcom or games made by Capcom, for instance, will have like stuff on the disc already when you bought it, and then it unlocks later if you buy the DLC. That's bullshit.
Right.
And then a good example, you said The Witcher. The game came out. It's a huge fucking game. It's really good. And then the DLC that came out first is like, I think like 10 hours of content, a new area, new storyline, new weapons, it's a mini expansion, and it adds a whole new area, and it wasn't developed beforehand. And then the new one coming out, I think it's called Blood and Wine or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like another 10 or 20 hours.
Jesus.
And the amount of shit they're adding, they said like they've learned so much from actually making the game and making the last DLC that they're adding even more to the game. I mean, the last DLC added like rune spells or something, which wasn't even in the game before. So it actually changed the game.
Well, and this one, they said they actually had to make all new assets for the game. So most of the stuff that's in this new expansion, they just created from nothing.
That's
so.
how it should be done.
Yeah.
For sure.
But they keep setting that example.
Right.
Everything about that game is how it should be done. Like the game came out, polished, complete product. They gave a bunch of free DLCs as a thank you for even letting the series get this far. Thank you,
17
fans,
of them.
everything. Yeah.
Jesus.
And then these just ginormous DLCs that still cost like most people's DLC prices. So
CD Projekt Red is an example of a great company that cares about their fan base. They respect us. They also are appreciative that we love their game so much, which is awesome. I remember when I bought it, inside where the book should be, which it had a book, but also had a little note. It was a thank you note and stuff like that. And I read it and I was like, that was really fucking kind of neat. And it's like, because you guys have made The Witcher so popular over the years, and we really appreciate it. We're releasing 17 DLCs, all free, because of this. I was like, that's fucking amazing. That's really cool. Like, I feel good for buying your game. Like, because I wanted it anyway, but just for them to be like, hey, fucking, we appreciate it. Because they're not a huge company. And their game's been super fucking popular. And then their DLCs are fucking mini expansions. It just shows nothing but respect. Like, they're not, like, trying to get your money. Like, they're releasing something exciting that they want you to want to buy.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
And Josh played the last DLC and loved it, so...
it's kind of surprising too, because you see these smaller companies making these great products and getting very recognized for it. I'm going to use the example with The Witcher 3 being Game of the Year. Before that, we had Telltale Games and The Walking Dead being Game of the Year. Who thought an adventure game would be the Game of the Year?
Yeah.
And that's insane. And that was just another company taking something and, like, giving a crap about it. So
that someone showing care to a game really does matter, because you get the recognition when you get enough people. I mean, both those games sold from word of mouth. So
When it matters, like, you put out a good product, it's going to sell itself.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have to let people know it exists, but, you know, once they do, it'll do the work for it. I mean, like, I almost feel like there's a huge outcry for that kind of thing, because for years, around like 2008 and beyond, we were just getting, you know, the same thing over and over again from all these big companies because they're afraid to take risks.
Right.
Right.
So you have these smaller companies making these games that we actually want, new things that are really cool, and I feel like they're self-aware of that. I think they know that people want that, and since they're smaller and they're not answering to, you know, a higher fucking hierarchy or whatever, they can be more personal and more straightforward. I mean, we see a lot of that with, like, even Warframe, how DE handles what are those things called that they do?
the dev streams.
The dev streams, yeah.
You guys ever want to like see just a real chill development team? Check out Warframe's official YouTube channel and watch one of their dev streams. They're just absolutely fun. Group of people. So
Yeah, no, they're fun to watch. They're really good at communicating with the community and enjoying talking with the community.
Very passionate
They're very
about what they
active
do.
about it.
Yep.
And they support their game like a motherfucker.
Yep.
Another super respectable company. But to cut that short real quick, to talk about what I've been playing a little bit. Been playing Alien Nation some more. I think I mentioned that a little bit in the last Tastycast.
Yes.
I've beaten the first playthrough, which is about 5 hours. If you watched on, I think, either Wednesday or Thursday, there was an episode of it, so make sure to go check that out. But I've been playing the second playthrough, and that game's fucking hard. Like, you just get swarmed by fucking aliens, and, like, as soon as you enter the next playthrough, all your gear doesn't matter anymore. Like, I had, like, legendary shit. I'm like, my guy's awesome. I go there, and you can't go back and play the first playthrough.
it's reminiscent of Path of Exile.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's neat because now I'm getting to the point where my guy's starting to get strong again, so like it feels good and fresh again. And the weapons actually have some new attributes to them too. Like I've seen some crazy weapons, but yeah, it makes me appreciate. I always like games that you can keep replaying and still feel like you're still like, I don't know. I don't feel tired of the game yet.
I mean, you guys both played Dark Souls 3, and that series is known for doing the same thing. So,
speaking of Dark Souls 3, you said you're still playing it.
Yep.
I've taken a break from it for a little bit. I intend to go back and play it because I'm not done with it by any means. But yeah, there's too many games coming out. I know Doom's out right now. I want to pick that up. There's actually a sale on
Newegg, I believe.
Newegg. You can get it for $45, which is fucking
Brand
crazy
new
because
fucking
it
game.
just came out.
It's like the Mad Max sale all over again.
I got that for $15
Yeah, I did too.
Shit.
when it first came out.
Yeah, me too.
Fucking
I
A.
had to just buy
Yeah.
it. Like I wasn't even like I didn't want to pick it up because like I played Josh had it, I played it. I was like that's pretty fun. It was like $15. I'm like it's a brand new game, $15. Like
I haven't played mine yet.
we literally no. Me and Josh did an episode, and if we can find it, we should link it. But there's an episode where me and Josh are talking about Mad Max when it first came out, and in the episode, Josh is like, "Yeah, it's like $15," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Where?" And then the episode just like skips because at that point I went and like bought it, and then I come back and I just bought like I literally had to stop the episode because I was like, when's that sale gonna fucking end? They're not making money off that.
Yeah.
So yeah, every once in a while, I got Battlefield 4 for $20 when it first came out
Yeah.
because Black Friday just happened. So I bought it on some website, digital code for it for $20. I fucking haven't even played that game. I just bought it. I was like $20. Fucking, that's $40 less if I was gonna buy it.
There you go.
horrible-
Companies, you want to sell your game day one? $20.
Just drop that price, fucking all the way down. Give it to me for free. I've been playing a shitload of Uncharted 4 that just came out. We did an episode on that, right?
Yes.
That was the one we had a
Last
fucking
week.
issue with.
Yeah, that episode, and I put I made a comment on the video apologizing for the delay on it because we had a crap load of technical difficulties with that stupid episode. So
Yeah, I almost gave up and just quit. I didn't want to keep working on it. It was fucking crazy. It's an hour-long episode, which is longer than I like to do, but for a game like that, I felt like I had to get... If anyone's going to watch it, I don't want them to see, like, 5 minutes of it and be like, oh, that was a cool conversation, because there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
But it was a huge file. We had issues What was the first issues we had?
So we were using hardware that we had not used before, which we've brought up in the past. We like to experiment with using different equipment and stuff.
I hate doing it because something always happens, but at the same time, I always want to try new things.
Yeah. So we have multiple computers in the house, and we used a media computer that we have hooked up with a television. Unfortunately, it has very crappy Ethernet card in it. So it took forever to get it copied. That was the first problem.
Well, and even before that, during recording, that computer runs really loud.
Yeah.
And so, like, in the episode when you watch it, you can hear, like, and I reduced the sound quite a bit, but you can still hear, like,
white noise. Yeah.
And I'm just like, ugh. So that happened. We tried to fucking export it from your computer onto another one over the network. It was going to take, like, 8 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah. Which is crazy, because didn't you later move it from that computer to yours, and it took, like...
Your computer to mine took 14 minutes.
Yeah.
So like, there's a big fucking difference.
Yeah.
Huge. He's like 8 hours. I'm like, dude, the episode, I'm never gonna fucking be able to work on this episode. I gotta work tomorrow, man. I was like, fucking get rid of it. And then like, you tried to use. We didn't have a card big enough because it was like how many gigs?
For some reason, we don't have a fucking flash stick that can hold more than
10 gigs.
10 gigs.
What?
Yeah.
And the episode's a little over 10 gigs.
But I have a micro SD card that can do 60-something gigs.
And the USB ports on that motherboard are fried, and it kept fucking up.
We tried to use that, the mini SD, and fucking had plenty of room on it, but it kept airing out on that computer. So that computer we're not recording on ever again.
Ever again.
Yeah. That was a lesson. But anyway, Uncharted 4 is fucking amazing. It is, and I want to do an episode on this. On Loot Chest, but I want to discuss at some point our favorite games per console. So we'll do that in the future, but I think it'd be cool. Like, what was your favorite one game on 64? What was your favorite game on PlayStation? We'll do that in the future. But the reason I thought of that is because playing Uncharted 4 is the best game I played on the PS4. Like, by far, nothing comes close.
I think a lot of people will probably agree with you on that one.
It is fucking amazing, and there's experiences in it that I've never seen in a video game, and it's just fucking... It is stellar. The multiplayer is awesome. The game looks fantastic. The voice acting is amazing. I love Troy Baker in it, playing as your brother Sam in it. Like, originally, because all the Uncharted, there's always like a character that you do a mission with or whatever, or a heist, and then they always fuck you over. So I assumed like your brother's gonna do that. And I haven't beaten the game, so don't spoil it for me. Anybody in the comments if you've been playing it or not. But like so far they're dynamic and the way they talk to each other is super believable, and they're both excellent voice actors. It's just like when I'm not even shooting shit, I'm just loving the game. Just hearing the dialogue and seeing the amazing the scenery. I actually last night I stayed up till like I went to bed, but I woke up like at 7 for some reason. I was playing Uncharted 4 and I started fucking around with there's a photo mode when you're playing. You can like take photos. You can also take the characters out of the picture and stuff like that. So I was doing like photography in the game for like 2 hours. And if you follow us on Twitter
at Tasty Loot,
is it just Tasty Loot? Tasty Loot Gaming.
I'll double check.
At Tasty Loot Gaming, I put up a bunch of pictures that I took, which it was just weird. I was playing a video game and then I stopped to just do photography. Like I was like in like these great shots, and I'm just like, man, this game's fucking gorgeous. I was like proud of myself. I'm like, that's a good shot.
Oh, Jesus.
I was looking at some, I'm like, man, that looks like something they would have done, like for advertising. But the whole game, that's just a testament of how good the game looks. Like there's so many things that are great to take pictures of. But
it's at Tasty Loot Gaming.
Yeah.
And yeah, you went kind of crazy last night. So
yeah.
there's
Jesus Christ.
a multitude of pictures on here, so plenty of stuff for you guys to look at.
I'm probably gonna take all those too and put them in a cluster and throw them on Tumblr too.
Yeah, there you
just
go.
because I spent enough time doing that, I kind of want to show them off.
Right.
But yeah, the game's awesome, and I can't stress enough how good the fucking game looks, man. Like I was telling you about this already, but like I threw a grenade up on our roof and fucking watched a guy just launch off the roof, and the explosion's insane looking. The shrapnel flying everywhere and rubble, and fucking then as the smoke cleared, like there's these like just areas of smoke drifting off the roof and billowing off until it like faded and shit, and like just the detail of that alone, I was like, holy fuck.
Wow.
Like there's so much detail in that game. Like constantly, I'm just like, they programmed that.
Well, and I know at one point during an interview they said during development they were worried they were being overtly ambitious and that they were never going to finish the game.
I believe it because every fucking level, every part that you're in, there's something happening that's original to that area.
Yeah.
There's like, you know, the core gameplay is the core gameplay, but like every place is an experience. Like it's never stale.
One, every time I've gone in there, I've just seen something completely different and impressive. Chris, did you ever play or watch anything related to The Last of Us?
I've seen some gameplay footage of it, but that's about it.
You haven't played The Last of Us?
So,
Metal Gear Solid, Uncharted, and The Last of Us, some of the greatest games ever made.
I actually thought about getting The Last of Us, though. But
so
I'll let you borrow it if you don't steal it. Where the fuck stole my Uncharted collection? I'll kill you.
the reason I was bringing it up, because you were talking about even when you're not playing, you're just having a great time. Seth played The Last of Us probably at least 6 times through now.
Yeah, I beat it about 6 times sometimes.
Jesus.
But he had to beat it
I'll
for
beat it
himself.
again right now.
He then, like, as I was watching, he'd sit down and beat it, and then he had like our mom come over and she sat.
Dude,
and
I was
watched
showing her,
it.
dude.
And like,
But she was visiting a lot at the time, and she wanted to watch a movie. I was like, I'll fucking play The Last of Us for you.
I mean, that's a movie.
Yeah.
The storyline in the game, and I'm not going to talk about it because you should play it or at least watch the entire damn thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
Games don't do that. That's not a game. And Uncharted is looking like it's going to be very similar in Uncharted 4. I mean,
This might start a whole conversation on its own, and I'm probably going to piss some people off real quick, but it's really hard for me to be a denier that video games are art. I don't believe video games are art, which is really weird.
But you don't?
I don't believe video games are art.
Okay.
Just like I don't think Windows 95 is art. Anyway, but I do think, beyond that, video games are a catalog of art. I think they're full of art. But the hardware itself and the interaction isn't art. Yeah, the software. But I think, you know, the storytelling, the music, the everything about it inside is art, but the game itself isn't. It's really weird. It's complicated. But it's harder and harder for me to maintain that mentality when I'm playing games like this because it's essentially a fucking movie. Right. And I highly believe the movies are art, but it's like it's hard to discuss because art is subjective, I guess. But to a point, it's all about expression.
Right.
But it's hard for me to believe a team of like 200 people are all on the same page and making this expression that they're all expressing together. They're all working together to make this product. But like the guy who wrote the story, that guy's an artist. He wrote a great story. The guy's doing the voice acting. That's art. That's acting. You know, like the concept art beforehand. Art. Blah 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 blah
the
blah.
photos taken in the photo album are art, but the photo album is not.
Well, yeah, and I always equate it to like walking in not a museum, but like an art exhibit. The video game itself is the art exhibit, but it's showcasing art inside it. Yeah. So when people hear that, they always are like, "Oh, you don't fucking think it's art? That's fucking..." Like they get pissed at me almost.
Well, what about the fucking music place in Seattle? What's it called?
EMP.
The EMP.
What about it?
The building itself is a piece of art, even though it's containing other art pieces of work.
Yeah, it's architecture. That makes sense. The building is. I don't look at a disc though and go, "That's..." I mean, you could loosely, but that's low end art. Like that's like saying this chair's art.
Yeah, it's like people arguing whether or not, saying comparing Van Gogh to graffiti art. Both are forms of art on different levels for different people. Like you said, it's all subjective.
It is subjective, yeah.
So, like, to us, writing the technical aspect and coding might not seem like art, but to the person who's doing it, it is an art form to them because they've spent a lot of time and hours into mastering a form of
Do you think, like,
expression.
Rosetta Stone's art?
What do you mean? Like
when you put the disc in and you're, like, reading words on a thing and it's saying stuff like a language?
Yeah, there's an art form to it. Finding that it's appealing and easy for people to understand and learn, that's an art.
That experience is art.
A skill
But
of any kind can be an art form.
But
no, I agree, but that's not what that's what I'm asking.
The product itself, though, as a whole package, not.
Hold on, I'm going to simplify it.
Okay.
When you're fucking when you put in Rosetta Stone and you're learning French or whatever, do you think that you're experiencing art, not learning the aspect, but like the program itself? Are you looking at it as art? Do you ever look at it as art?
You can.
You can, but you can look at a piece of shit like art. So if you're into that, So it's just all about.
It's a matter of perspective.
It's
subjective.
perspective. It's subjective, but it's like this. My standard of art is different, but I'm not denying the amount of art. I'm almost giving it more praise than it deserves. Not that it deserves. That's stupid. That's not shitty. But like, I'm almost giving it more because I think it's packed full of art. I think it's packed full of art more. A movie can't be packed full of art. It's essentially cinematography, acting, and music. That's pretty much all three things that are in movies. And I love movies. Movies are one of my favorite forms of art. But video games, I don't play a game and my interactions with my fingers on a controller, putting inputs, telling a system or engine what to do. I don't feel like I'm interacting or experiencing. I don't feel like I'm. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't feel like I'm interacting with art. I am technically because the art inside it. It's really hard for me to explain. It's confusing. It just when I compare that program to another program that I don't view as art, it's all the same. Just my experience with that, I feel like the connection is based off of the actual art forms within the game.
Okay.
Like I don't look at Minesweeper and think it's art. Someone designed it. But I don't think they're trying to express anything. I think they're trying to make a system that people can interact with for fun. And I think expression is the utmost. You can't... I know this is going to go on for a while. So the definition of art is really loose.
Right.
And everybody wants to think that art is what you make it, whatever. I hate when people are like, everything is art. That drives me nuts. When people are like, grass is art, man. Air that you breathe, the baby is art. Like, these aren't expressions.
Yeah.
Art is an expression. No one just makes art for fucking nothing. That's consumerism. That's you making a product at that point. But, like, no one made depending on what you believe, but no one made the fucking grass to express anything, you know? So, like... The expressionalism in games is all the individual aspects of the artists that did it. So the storytelling is the expression, and they're all stoked and proud of the game they made. But it was a team effort. I mean, like I feel like the original concept of a car is art, but after the belt, the fucking the amount that's been pumped out of the product, it loses that merit. Not the original concept, but after a while when you're mass producing something for whatever means, for profit or whatever, the expression diminishes on every individual one.
No.
You don't agree with that?
I disagree. Because if you can get any kind of influence or expression out of a single person, regardless of how many copies of a piece of work is out there, you're still doing art in some form.
Who's doing art?
Whoever initially done the car, whoever sells the car, they're still selling a piece of art. Even though there's like 80,000 copies of like little pictures of the Mona Lisa, it's still art.
See, and I view it differently. Because you can take a picture of the Mona Lisa, and it's the same as having a poster of the Mona Lisa. I don't think either of those are art. I think they're representative of the original piece. Just like a car being copied and 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 copied. I feel like the original concept, and like I said, this is all subjective, whatever.
Right.
It's no one's right or wrong in this conversation ever.
No,
every time I have
absolutely.
it, I always try and stress that. Like I'm not saying like you don't fucking get it, man. I'm saying like this is my brain. This is how it works. And my standard for art is different. I'm not gonna say it's better or worse. I'm just saying it's different because the way I view it. And I think the thing I just said with the picture thing is a really good way to kind of get behind the way my brain works. Is like I still appreciate it, but I'm all about the original concept and the original expression. And I feel like the appreciation, the expression does not diminish because it's been replicated so much, but I feel like the original concept is where the original love was at, where the original expression came from. And after that, it's emulation, it's copying, it's remembering it. So it keeps it alive.
To wind this back to video games, when video game developers have an initial concept of the game that they really want to make, and then big companies are like, no, we can't do that. You need to change this and this and this and this and this. How do you feel about that? The initial concept is gone.
I think it breaks down the original expression. I think it weakens the art
Even
that
if it
is
turns
in the
out
game.
a really good game? Even if it turns out to be a really good game?
Sure. Because when I play a game, I'm not playing it for the art form.
Sure, but you're arguing someone trying to express something versus a company trying to make money. That's the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
They're there to make them money, and the bonus is they get to express themselves sometimes through that. So
Yeah. It's a complicated thing, and I don't think it's also just like one note.
Right.
Like I said, I'm starting to forfeit the idea on certain things, but at the same time, I can't just drop it like that because then I have to kind of open up for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfair for me to let certain things slide and other things not. I still feel like the standard for me is still the same when it comes to games and art. And like I said, for me, it is like a showcase of art. I'm not diminishing the value of it. I mean, the music in The Last of Us and the acting and the storyline, I cried in that game like 3 times. If that's not expression, I don't know what the fuck it is.
I almost cried 3 times in that game.
Oh, I fucking bawl every fucking time I play that game. It's beautiful, and I love that shit. That's why I watch movies. I love feeling something from something. But again, that disc with the data on it and just the inputs and the core game mechanic of it, you know, the artistry of programming is a thing or whatever, but I don't believe when people are sitting there fucking working on an engine, fucking wanting to shoot themselves forever, fucking just work on that thing, chugging coffee. I don't think they're thinking like an artist. I don't think they're trying to express anything. I think they're trying to get their fucking job done.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, the way I break it down, I just feel like certain parts are art, certain things were originally art, and then there is art in it. It's always a really, like I said, really hard conversation to have because the biggest thing is this is
a hard conversation, it's just a long conversation.
It's a long conversation because I have to break it down because when you first say video games are not art, people are like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
Because people don't want to hear something they love isn't something they think it is.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not trying to be intrusive and tell someone you're fucking wrong. You don't fucking think what I think. That's stupid. I hate that shit. But don't even get me started on tattoos. I have a weird system to that too. But yeah, I mean, overall, we're kind of on the same page. I view it a little differently.
Right.
Because I still think there's art there, you know? Like, it's video games are amazing. It's one of my favorite mediums out there outside of movies and music and all that shit. So, but yeah, Uncharted 4 is awesome. If there was a game I would consider completely art, it would be that game. Yeah. Let's change subject a bit though. I mean, that's pretty much all I've been playing right now. I played something else.
I love that game.
That's a really good game.
Such a good game.
That's DDR. I played that 3 times. There was a topic that I wanted to bring up, and that was Ubisoft and EA came out and said that, and we're going to cover this on Tasty Tuesday, but we decided not to because I feel like it's going to be a bigger conversation than what that would permit. Said that essentially they don't think there's going to be another console cycle. Now, that's really interesting because I also read something recently that said there's maybe going to be one more console cycle, and on the last console cycle, so the 360 and the PS3, I heard that there was not going to be consoles after those either. Mm-hmm. So this is something that keeps coming back, and I want to know what you guys think about that because it's interesting how that keeps fluctuating. I mean, like for a while there, everybody was saying PC is dying, and now it's thriving more than ever.
More than ever, absolutely.
People were saying consoles were dying because they didn't think they're... I remember hearing people saying, like, we've hit the fucking peak of what consoles can do. I'm like, why would you ever think that?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Like, it literally, logically makes no fucking sense.
Right.
It's like saying, fucking, we can't improve upon it anymore. We're done. So, yeah.
It's just the mind of someone who doesn't strive to be better. So
yeah, or just people that fucking just don't understand how progress works. Mm-hmm. Like, fucking, you mean you can do more? You can do better? I thought we're just done. We did it already. Let's move on.
It's over.
Let's go back to books. Fuck it, dude. But yeah, one of the big reasons is streaming. People think that streaming is going to take over, and I think at some point it will. I mean, I remember the original debate was digital was the reason why consoles were going to die off, and now streaming is what people are saying is going to die off.
Yeah, I don't think digital would kill it because
well, it's been around.
PlayStation specifically is doing super high sales in digital only sales. And it's because they do midnight releases, or sometimes 9 p.m. releases.
Right.
You don't have to leave the house. You get the game instantly.
I've bought games digitally just because I didn't want to go pick it up.
Yeah, so, I mean, and obviously we're all accustomed to it, you know, coming from Steam. I mean,
yeah. I have like
Physical-
400
physical
games on that
games
fucker
are-
that I don't own physically.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple.
Like, I don't own
physical
those games.
Um,
I just have access.
The
to
only
them.
reason I have Battleborn physically is because we have that gamer club system through Best Buy to get a discount.
I bought Battleborn physically because I don't know if I'm going to keep it for very long, to be honest.
But otherwise, the Division and Destiny, I bought those in the store because they're online only games. The disc is useless. So, as for like Call of Duty, I can take to someone's house.
Right.
So
Yeah. What do you guys think about consoles dying off?
I don't think it's
Especially
going
for
to
one
happen
cycle.
until we have a fully integrated VR system, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're certainly probably get I would say maybe 2 more consoles at most coming
Ooh,
out.
that's generous, I think.
I know. Until
What?
VR is solidified. But I think, like, when I say solidified, I think to the point where, like, eventually, humans are going to have to integrate technology within our own bodies. And until that point happens, I think we'll still keep seeing consoles and PCs and things like that coming out.
I was not expecting to start talking about futurism.
But,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, you're going to see, I think, a couple more. And then VR is going to hit. And those aren't really supportive too much of, home console systems. You want to be able to take that around and travel with it and make them compact and light, and having a big old disc in the side of your head while you're playing a VR game is not very, realistic.
It's fucking horrifying. I think it's all reliant on supply and demand. Every time they come up with these things, the landscape of what's being bought changes. So like PC was dying, PC started thriving. We're not talking about it anymore. They already talked about consoles disappearing before. We have new consoles now.
Yeah.
I feel like as long as people are buying physical copies and we see how streaming does, if it does amazing, we'll see what happens. But to make that call, I think they're more so just looking at the technology. Like when 3D TVs were coming out, people were saying this is fucking the future.
Yeah.
People didn't want them.
No.
Because no one wants to wear shit on their face when they're sitting in their house.
Right.
And once they figure out how to do it without the glasses, we'll see. We'll try it again. Just like VR was tried in the 90s, didn't work out. Now we're finally at a place where I feel like VR is actually going to work.
Yeah.
But to make that call, I think it's mostly just looking at the technology. I think they're looking at the technology going, streaming is going to work really well in the future. And it's so convenient. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to put a disc in. You don't have to install shit. You can just play the game instantly. And there is perks to that. But I know so many people who want to buy physical things.
Yep.
Especially collector type stuff. Like collector's editions. There's no way they're going to stop doing that. And with consoles, I think people like having a box in their room. I think they because people are fucking fanboys. People, if they're going to spend a shitload of money, well, if they're streaming, I guess they don't have to. But, I'm on the same page. I think that we're going to get at least 1 to 2 more console cycles. But the other thing I was thinking about too is with the idea of the PS4 becoming modular and being upgraded over and over, that also is a whole other area we could go.
Yeah.
We might not have new console cycles. We might just have an evolving console, which would be smart in the next console cycle for them to make modular consoles. They can just keep upgrading, especially if they're foreseeing not wanting to make consoles in the future. But
To
it's just
loosely,
really-
so go ahead. Sorry.
no, I'm done.
To loosely quote EA, they didn't even talk about a box. They literally said, in the same vein of smart TVs right now with Netflix, that you would literally just turn the TV on, pick your game, and immediately start playing. That was the example they gave, and I believe it. I think maybe 1 more console gen cycle myself because of the rate of technology growth. And also the fact that game streaming already exists on PS3's level over the internet and
And that's
works,
going to advance quickly. So
pretty well most of the time. Sometimes there's some delay, but not too bad. The biggest hurdle they're going to run into before this will become standard is infrastructure.
that's what I was going to say.
The internet infrastructure, at least in where we live in the United States of America, is great in some areas and non-existent in others.
Yeah.
There's entire parts of this country that still, I believe, are on dial-up, if that. You can't sell product like that. I mean, like they can't even use Netflix. You know what I mean? So they have to have enough people for that infrastructure to make sense. Right now, because you can still play your games, as long as they're not online-only games, offline by putting a disc in, that's a huge market that they still have. So I don't think that's going to disappear super fast, but
we have a lot of companies pushing for internet all over the world right now. I mean, you got Google trying to take internet to places that
Google
shouldn't
Wire.
even fucking have internet yet. So
Google Fiber.
That's it.
Yeah.
Fiber.
well,
I
I'm
can't
not
wait
even
to get
talking about
that.
that. And they've changed their idea since, but the original idea was
The
balloons
Yeah.
over like Africa and stuff like that, so that they would
Balloons.
have free internet
Yeah.
that they could just connect to. Because
Yeah, they're talking about having balloons just floating around the sky that have free Wi-Fi.
You can't see my face, but it's got this weird, dumbfounded look. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I was wondering how they're going to keep those afloat and how they control that, like the winds and stuff.
Yeah.
I might be an idiot, but it sounds really technical to me.
Sounds really technical to me too.
But that was a legitimate thing
satellites
that
would be
they
better.
announced that they were thinking of doing. They scrapped it, and I think they ended up finding some other thing they want to try to do internet over there as well.
I was thinking,
They were looking
technology
to
is
cheat.
ever evolving. So.
Well, and obviously it wasn't going to be high speed internet or anything like that. But essentially, you have large companies like Google trying to connect the entire world. So
Yeah. Well, it's in their best interest that everybody's connected because that's
Yep.
how they make
Yeah.
their money. So, it's funny because years ago, as a futurist guy who always is looking at how we're going to merge with machine at some point, 'cause I'm fucking crazy. I was explaining to a couple people, I was talking about the future consoles and stuff, and I was explaining to them that eventually it's just going to be the box. You're not going to buy, different consoles. You're going to buy like Sony's box or Microsoft's box
or
whatever,
it'll be
but
an
they're-
app on your phone.
But as it evolved, I started thinking that your phone is the box.
Yep.
You're going to be able to just connect that to your TV, and it's going to do whatever the fuck you need to do.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah. And now I'm seeing the box is just going to be the fucking TV.
Yep.
You just have... For me, the concept of the box, or whatever, as I keep calling it, is just a single thing that does everything. Because we already have that with our phones.
Yeah.
Our phones do so much shit now, it's stupid. And
Well, look how
back
you-
at flip phones in the
Yeah.
early 2000s, I never looked at that and went, this eventually is going to do
I'm
fucking
gonna watch
everything.
1080p Netflix on this.
It's like play Snake and
While
Bits.
staying connected to everybody and knowing what the fuck everybody's doing at all times and getting any answer I ever fucking need
And-
right now.
That's less than 20 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like the idea of console cycles disappearing, I can't make that judgment or that call because I have no idea. But I do feel like for sure we're getting one more. I think we could get two just because I think consumer demand is going to be there. I think people are not going to want to let go of that so quickly.
Right.
But unless the console cycles are really fucking long, if we get another 10
I
one,
would say Sony supports their systems forever, anyways.
yeah.
So they're gonna, as soon as we're done with them, they're just gonna sell them in another country where they're affordable now.
Yeah.
So
But streaming definitely is going to, especially as internet gets better and better and better, and their systems get better and servers get better to do that. It's definitely going to be more.
how's that not? Sorry.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
I was just gonna say. I mean, how is that not appealing? Let's say like the price is $20 a month. You're already spending over $60 a month every month buying video games
Yeah.
right now, and if you were to pay $20 a month and literally the day the games were releasing, you were just able to play them, you would jump on that.
Well, probably. And originally, I remember even before I got really into Steam, so years ago, the idea of digital distribution bothered me. Because I was like, I want to own the game physically, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now I have like 400 games on Steam, and I don't even think about it. It's fine. It works. But I still feel like the diehard collectors are still going to want something in their hands.
They can have the
I
box.
I still buy physical copies of any Final Fantasy game ever
Yeah.
that I get.
And if you have a $20 streaming service a month, which I do think I would have that still, for special games, I think I would still want to own something. Unless it's going to go the way of like how vinyl has become popular in music because people don't buy CDs anymore. And people,
They still sell CDs though, so
kind of. But vinyl sales are up a lot because
Yeah.
people buy them because they're collectible.
Right.
You have a big, cool thing. You have the album cover, art, you can put on your wall, whatever. Some people actually put them on a fucking record player, but most people don't. Most people buy them because they just want to support the artist and get something for it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they'll just start doing that. Like if you fucking somehow pre-order stream this game before it comes out or something like that, maybe they'll send you something. I don't
Bonus
know.
Physical copy.
Yeah, or like just like a fucking sweet poster. Like people want shit like that.
Right.
Music in a physical form is still around. There's no reason. No one fucking listens to music physically. Typically, they
Yeah.
listen to fucking MP3s on their phone or on MP3 player
Or
if
on
you still have one of
YouTube.
those, or on YouTube. But people still buy music merch because fucking they want to have something physical that represents their love for that. And I feel like we're not going to be able to get past that with. Yeah, maybe they'll send you a fucking shirt or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But But I feel like we're not going to be able to get past that because, I mean, people fucking still are buying books. It's been around for fucking ever.
I love books.
Exactly. People love books. I don't give a shit about
I
books.
love
Honestly,
books.
I'm definitely okay with reading on my Kindle.
I love the smell of a brand new book.
I do too. I don't even read books. So I was like, this smells good.
I also
I like the smell of brand new stuff in general.
Opening a new game, opening a box with new technology,
Oh, dude,
like a new
that
video
fucking
card.
thick plastic air just goes out of your fucking case. You're like, ooh, that's new.
Yeah.
Toxic.
It's not that it actually smells good. It
Cancer.
is literally that thought. This is crispy and
Yeah.
new. Like,
Oh, dude, fucking, I open a box with a fucking video card in it, and I'm like, ooh, there's no dirt in there. That's nice. This thing's fucking crisp.
So hypothetically speaking, let's say we do end up not having any more consoles. Everything goes streaming. What do you guys think price pointing wise for these things are going to be? Since a lot of money initially comes from buying these expensive consoles,
Yeah.
initially from launch, and then you start getting more and more games as they really start making their money in the long run. So do you think there's going to be a higher price point for games to be streaming since they're losing the money off consoles?
it's why I kind of said the $20 mark.
I think they're going to do a Netflix thing because it makes sense. I mean, Steam will probably do that in the next couple of years because it makes sense. I essentially buy games all the time, and they're accessible. Once they get streaming going, I just have my whole list and play whatever the fuck I want at once. But the price point is going to have to be, I mean, $60 a year would be a fucking steal.
Yeah.
Because that's buying one game. But they're going to have to make money somewhere else because they're going to lose a shitload of money. So I'm thinking like, even if it was $20-$30, which I think is more accessible for everybody,
Yep.
like a month or something like that, and then maybe 60 to 100 something a year, I think would be fair. But they're gonna find ways to get more money from you. I feel like they'll have like a week early release of a streamable game, but you have to be part of a club or something. They'll have to do something like that.
They
to
could
make
very
that money
easily do like a like you said, $20-$30 a month, access to the whole catalog or whatever.
Yeah.
But then if you were if you want day one releases of AAA titles and stuff like that, you got to have the $50 package or whatever.
Yeah, because they'll have to be multiple packages, or maybe like online infrastructure. Like
This
maybe
is
they'll have to
gonna
pay for it like
sound
PSN.
Terrible, and I don't want to give ideas, but
Uh-oh.
No one's listening to us.
doing the same thing.
We're talking to ourselves.
Crunchyroll, for example, you can watch everything on there, and it stops and advertises something to you. Loading screens, for example. Not that you need loading screens, but
I would
pausing points in the game.
Cut a bitch.
That
If
would
there was a
bother the fuck out of
It
me.
commercial
would.
in the middle of my game. I would cut a bitch.
But you know how much money they'd make off
I'm
that?
not against advertising because it makes sense. You have to do it to make money, blah, blah, blah. But if I'm playing a game and I'm immersed in it, last thing I want to see is fucking like dish fucking soap commercial like between like a really cool part of a game and loading to the next one. I'm going to be like, what the fuck was that?
Remake Final
Okay.
Fantasy VII. Aerith dies. Now buy Ajax.
Yeah. Fucking buy Mr. Clean.
The soap or sorry, just bought Deadpool fresh on my mind.
I love that movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that sounds awful. And I'd understand why they would do it, but like, ugh. That would just take me out of the game. Like, if they had advertisements on the screen when you're like looking at all the games, that would
Probably
look
when
tacky
you're-
as fuck.
Right before they stream it, like as you're in between choosing games, choose a game, next one's in line, stream a couple commercials, play your next game.
The other thing is, though, is Netflix doesn't do that.
No.
No, they don't. But they
Yeah.
also don't
Hulu does,
keep
and
a
people fucking hate it.
catalog. They change it every month because
Yeah.
they have a budget.
And that would bother me, too. And that would kill streaming.
That would not work for gaming at
Yeah.
all. At all.
Because if you're trying to replace the idea of ownership, the games need to be consistent. It has to be like Steam.
It has
the
to
games have
always
to
be
always be there.
available.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I would fucking hate like you like in the future one of the great games comes out, you know, that will live on like Final Fantasy VII or whatever, and you're gonna want to fucking keep that shit. And then they're like, oh, this month it's gone.
Yeah.
Like that would be awful. That'd be devastating. But, like, I don't have that game anymore. Like, give me a fucking physical copy then, because I don't want to do this anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it just wouldn't work out.
A less subtle, and they already do it anyways, would be product placement in the games. They do it in everything anyways, and if done right, it's not intrusive. So
like, you're playing Street Fighter and you fucking throw a Pepsi can at someone or something, or you
Sure.
chug it at the
Yeah.
fucking at the winning screen.
well, no, don't drink it at the winning screen, nothing like that. But like,
Like, yeah, I'm gonna drink this Pepsi now,
so the
guys.
people in
Make
the
sure I buy
background
it.
though,
Yeah, the
right?
background could have it.
They could be holding one
All those people in the fucking airfield on Gal's fucking.
while the chicks give
Just-
them due to blowy.
Good lord.
Dude, there's some weird shit in the background of that game. There's that chick's just like doing this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can put like digital billboards in games too. They're more immersive. With
Oh, they already
cities.
do that. I've seen a couple.
That's what I'm saying. They already do it. I mean,
It looks shitty though. Like
fucking
takes me out of
Final
it.
Fantasy 15 is coming out. What are they driving? A fucking Audi. Like,
Yeah, that's more subtle though. Like fucking.
That's
I
what I'm
don't
saying.
want to see a Final Fantasy character pop open a Coke and go. Ooh, because I'm like, what is this fucking?
Now-
is this based in
now
our
take
world?
a scene where they're all having a conversation and they're next to a vending machine or whatever, and one of them's just fucking with it while they're all talking, and he just gets a drink. It's just something a person would do anyways. It's non-intrusive. They're just getting a fucking drink out. There just happens to be a product that you recognize.
Right.
So
Right.
You're Geralt and you walk into a house and when you're talking to the person about a quest, the guy's fucking, you want some Folgers? And Geralt's like, you drank Folgers, you swine. Why not drink fucking some other fucking coffee brand?
it would be harder in fantasy games.
Because Geralt's an asshole. He's like, what now, you filth? All the time, these fucks bitches.
Okay.
It's like, I
mean,
magnums.
obviously, you found a good flaw there. I mean, fantasy games would be hard to do that with.
Yeah.
So.
Drive like a Mercedes-Benz horse. It's got branded in its ass.
Oh god, no,
It's a Chevrolet because you're a Chevolier fucking riding a
No,
Cheval.
I mean, where there's money to be made, they'll figure it out. So,
Right.
it's, as long as it's like you said, it's not or like we kind of brought up that would be annoying is in the middle of your gameplay. It's like your game will be right back after this commercial.
Oh.
message.
Nope.
I mean,
Nope. Pay extra to get rid of these commercials.
Whoa.
that now you're talking Hulu.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's
Hulu doesn't even get rid of them.
no. I
Did they
found out
fix that?
there's Hulu, right, with a bazillion commercials. Then there's you can pay for it
Plus.
Netflix pricing, and you get TV style commercial breaks, or you can pay for a premium version with no ads.
They must have added that because I remember it was years ago, but fucking Eric was paying for Hulu Plus, and he was watching something, and all of a sudden a commercial came on. I'm like, the fuck was that? And he's like, commercial? I'm like, don't you pay for this? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, why is there commercials? He's like, well, I don't know. I didn't think about it. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, I got pissed. I'm like, why are you paying for this? That's what the price of what you're paying for is fucking covering is the fucking advertising loss.
Yeah,
But they're making both. They're fucking geniuses.
That's why so many people go to Netflix, because there isn't that advertising. And Netflix has been genius. And we're getting
love
off game
Netflix.
topic. I'm sorry, but original content.
Netflix
They don't
is,
need people to pay them because they're making shit that you're paying for now.
Netflix is an art.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my opinion. But fucking Hulu scamming you out of your money, that's fucking art. That's con art as shit.
Okay, I'm gonna go backwards. Like we've said before, I think maybe 1-2 consoles. I would not be surprised if it is your phone, though, to be honest, and just wirelessly connected to fucking everything.
Do you think Nintendo would fucking drop out?
If that happened,
No, do you think that they would go to streaming? They deviate
hell no.
so much. They pretty much make toys.
no.
I mean, could you see
I think
them
they're gonna make
running
Rob
out
the
of
Robot again.
Probably because like Nintendo doesn't make all the standard hardware to run everything everyone else is running. So like, and they always have creative ideas. They would completely lose that. The one thing that's indicative of Nintendo outside of their characters that they own is the weird gimmicks they put on their consoles.
I have a feeling they're going to do the same thing most Japanese companies are doing, which is slowly become a mobile company, which
Yeah.
sucks to say.
That's depressing.
But Konami, I mean, that's their route. And I guess they've released one game now. Massive profits. Some baseball game, I guess. And then Capcom makes most of their money off mobile now. And Sega.
Yeah,
That's
most Japanese companies.
All those
That's
companies.
because of higher population of smaller areas.
Well, and
that
it's
can do
funny,
that.
too, though. Speaking of consoles disappearing and stuff like that, you're already seeing that in Japan. They don't want to buy consoles because they're all mobile gamers over there. They're always on the go. Very busy lifestyle. Here in the States, though, we're couch people. We want to sit on a couch, watch TV. Want to sit on a couch, play a fucking video game. Like that's the type of people we are here. So it's the culture we have. So you're not going to see the mobile market blow up in the same way, at least as quickly here. I don't think.
I just don't want to see an endless jumper or endless runner of Mario. That'd be worse than what I'm getting from them now.
You're going to see what they're capable of here soon with Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem coming to mobile. So
I'm interested with Fire Emblem just because if it's a full-fledged Fire Emblem game on mobile, I think that could work
it's
really
supposed to
well.
be more accessible but true to the series title.
I feel like it's going to be like what was that tank game? There's on Advanced Wars.
Yeah.
That was kind of simplistic. I feel like it'd probably be like that. Or like, did you ever play the Civ game on iPhone?
No. Oh wait, yes I did.
Yeah, it's like simplified.
Super
it's all
simplified.
Cartoony and shit. I
Yeah.
feel like it'd be like that.
Probably.
Because you don't have a whole lot of time to be fucking going into the menus and doing detailed shit while you're on the phone for 5 minutes waiting
Which is
for
kind
your
of bummer
lunch to be over.
That's the part of Fire. Like the story's like okay for me in Fire
Yeah.
Emblem, but the gameplay is just like wow, this is really deep for especially for a Nintendo game. I hate saying that, man.
That's just the truth.
But
I've had people argue with me about they're like, all games suck nowadays except for Nintendo because Nintendo's the only fucking company that innovates. I'm like, what?
when was the last time they did that?
Like their ideas for their controllers are interesting, but that technology's been around for a while. Like when they do it, and their games are fucking platformers. And some guy was like, "There's a fucking cat suit in the new fucking Mario game." Like, whew,
That
shit,
damn.
that changes the game,
Stop.
dude.
Yoshi's
Stop the
made of
press.
yarn now.
Yeah, like fucking, oh my god, I can't believe how innovative they are. And then when I'm talking about GTA 5 and fucking, you can be driving down the road and see a dude fucking read a newspaper, roll up, throw it in the fucking trash, walk over and kick a fucking cat because he's having a bad day. They're like, well, fucking how good the game looks and fucking how detailed it is doesn't make it good. I'm like, yeah, but it's still worth appreciating that they fucking put that much work into the game. Like, that is not just video games evolving. That's technology, man. That's fucking insane. We're at the point where there's a virtual world where people are doing that shit.
Anyone who can't, like, I don't care if you like Grand Theft Auto, anyone who can't appreciate Grand Theft Auto doesn't give a shit about technology.
Especially
Like-
what it is now, because
Yeah.
like Grand Theft Auto before was like fucking. I mean, they're impressive always, but like at the times they came out, especially Grand Theft Auto 3 was like the first game that did what it did, and that game I could not fucking wait for that game to come out. Like I was so fucking pumped for it. So I'm like, I can fucking run around the city shooting people. It's amazing. But
Do you ever play the original?
oh yeah,
The
oh yeah.
overhead
Love
ones.
that one. I love that
Phew.
one.
I can't go back and play those games. They're fucking. They're a little too old school now for me. But you know, they're always ridiculous. So like when you talk about Grand Theft Auto in any kind of serious tone, you know, it's easy to write off. 'Cause like, whoa, all the dick jokes and hookers and all that shit. But like now, all that stuff's still there, but they take their games really serious now, and they're on the forefront of fucking technological advancement in video games.
Look at the advertising campaign leading up to the launch of Grand Theft Auto 5. They were not like, you're gonna play as blah 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 and blah 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 blah, and you're gonna do this fucking thing. And blah. They were literally like, here is an example of pedestrians and blah blah. They literally talking tech every single fucking
They
video.
did that with Red Dead Redemption. They
Yeah.
did that with Max Payne 3.
It wasn't a game fucking showcase. It was a technology showcase.
I'm such a fucking tech dork that like when I was watching fucking the Max Payne 3 things advertising, you know, what's going to be in the game, they're like, in Max Payne 3, realism is really important. So what we did is when you have a pistol and you're shooting and you have a fucking shotgun, it doesn't just disappear. He's like, he holds the shotgun in his hand and he shoots and he puts the gun away, pulls the shotgun out and starts shooting. And when he moves the turns like that, his body actually has to move to fucking shoot that way. And when he's rolling and shit, and I'm like, man, they put a lot of work into fucking how realistic he's holding guns.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. And just to try to compare that level of just tech and detail to a catsuit, there's no comparison. I mean, you're playing Uncharted 4 right now. We just got done, you know, going off on that for a while. But, like, seriously, like, watch some videos on that. Watch how ridiculously detailed. Watch our video on it where... Even I mentioned it in that video where he's holding a crucifix in his hands and he's rotating it, and all of his fingers move so realistically. It's stupid.
There's a part later in the game, no spoilers, but you're trying to figure out a puzzle, and there's in the journal he has these little pieces of paper, 4 of them lined up with these little designs on them, and you literally move your hand around, grab the piece of paper, the paper moves like paper, and you just like rotate it, and just watching like his fingers move on the paper and watching the paper like land wherever you put it, like that's not like exciting as a gameplay thing, but like technologically I was like, they didn't have to fucking do that.
Yeah.
They did it because you're not taking out the game at all. These are living, breathing fucking characters. Nathan Drake is an interesting character, and fucking even when he finds clues for things, he'll literally pull out a journal, pull out a pencil, and start sketching it or writing shit down, like right in front of you.
Yeah.
There's a part where fucking he pulls out a phone and fucking he's like taking a picture and then texts it to some dude or texts it to Sam or whatever because he's off somewhere else. He needs information and shit. And even when I was holding it, I looked over at Sully with it, and Nathan's like, "Say cheese." And Sully's like, "No, stop." He's like, "Come on, say cheese." He's like, "Stop." And he's like, "Say cheese." He's like, or he's like, smile or something like that. He's like, and then fucking go, and you can do it like all those little things they didn't need to do.
But Yoshi and Kirby are made out of yarn.
Come on.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You unravel enemies with your tongue.
Not that Nintendo games aren't fun, but I mean, like
That's
that,
the point.
That
They're
argument,
they're fun.
that they're innovators anymore. No.
Smash Bros. Didn't innovate shit. It made a good new Smash Bros.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And that should be good enough. But people are like, this is fucking, like, Nintendo's got all the good ideas. Well, it's Smash Bros. Again. It just looks better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's what it
was
needed
a
to be.
good idea to cross promote with some DLC on that game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Business wise, that was a good idea. Same with Mario Kart. It was also a good idea
Mario
to make
Kart- the new
good
Mario Kart's fucking
versions
awesome. I love
of
it.
both those games. So, but they were not innovative in any way. So,
Yeah. I think that's a good point to stop the podcast, though.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments what you think about innovation. What do you think about consoles disappearing? Do you think games are art? I'm sure you do. Go and yell at me too and say that I don't know shit about art.
I'm gonna do that first comment, just screaming at you.
Fuck you, asshole! Can't believe you don't appreciate games for what they are. I love games a lot. But yeah, as always, thank you for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed this, and check out our other many episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, Tasty Gaming. Check us out on Twitch, Sleep Division. And yeah, as always, thank you for listening. Real quick, I forgot. Reminder, next week we will not be here. So
no promises on episodes.
no promises on episodes. If they come out, they come out. If they don't, we'll be back the next week.
Back normal schedule. Yep.
But yeah, until when we see you again, my name's Seth,
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
and we'll see you guys later. Take it easy, guys.